clap our hands and send up Judah. Yes, God, we've come to clap our hands and give him praise. Everybody in the house, say, come on, clap your hands tonight. We've come to clap our hands and send up Judah. Yes, God, we've come to clap our hands and give him praise. Everybody in the house, say, we've come to clap our hands. Give him glory. Glory. We've come to clap our hands. Hey, give him glory. Glory. We've come to clap our hands. Hey, come on, clap your hands and give the Lord praise. Hallelujah. Hey, come on. We've come to do our dance and magnify him. Hey, we've come to do our dance and give him praise. Everybody in the house, say, come on, we've come to do our dance. Hey, come on, we've come to do our dance and magnify him. Yes, God, we've come to do our dance and give him praise. Everybody in the house, say, we've come to do our dance. Now come on everybody, pick up your feet and give God praise in the dance. Come on, Psalms 150 says praise him in the dance. Come on, pick up those feet and give God praise in the dance. God's been good to you. God's been good to you. He brought you through 2011. You got a reason to dance. You got a reason to dance. You got a reason to dance. Hey, come on, we've come to do our dance and magnify him. Hey, we've come to do our dance and give him praise. Everybody in the house, hey, we've come to do our dance. Give him glory. Give him glory. We've come to do our dance. Give him glory. Come on. Hey, we've come to lift our hands. We've come to clap our hands. We come to do our dance. We come to lift. We come to clap. Hey, we come to do. We come to lift. We come to clap. Hey, we come to do. We come to lift. Hey, we come to clap. We come to do. Hey, we come to lift. Hey, we come to clap. Hey, we come to do. We come to lift. And give him praise.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. All right. Listen, thank you for tuning in tonight on the Men to Men Talk Back to Talk Show with your radio host, Pastor Nino Ackridge, and co-host, Pastor Carl Young. Good evening, sir. How you doing, brother?
I'm blessed. Just really get back in the town from utilizing my aunt, as all y'all know. Amen. Y'all just keep us in prayer, but we ready to rock tonight. We ready to get things rolling back on the Men to Men Talk Up Show. Amen. So y'all share this. Amen. And we getting ready to rock.
Amen. Yes, that's it. We get ready to rock, and we just thanking praise God for another opportunity to be here with all of you on tonight. Listen, tonight we got a conversation. We want you guys to have share your comments because we know we got to buy stuff. We know we need things for our home. We know the situation we're in, but we're seeing people spending their money and not paying their bills at all. So tonight we want to discuss what are we doing with our stimulus check, our unemployment resources, and then I want you to really get in your mind of what you think going to happen 5 months from now. When we go back to being around each other, going back to the church, are we going to be different? Or are we going to be the same way we were before we came out of this thing? Or what we're going to do? Are we going to have a strategy? Have our strategy change in our mind? Do we have something in place going forward so this won't catch us like this again? And so that's some of the things that we want to talk about tonight, because we seeing people, man, not paying their bills at all, not trying to pay none of their bills, none of their light bill, none of their water bill, none of their rent, none of their mortgage. And so when June and July come, when all of these months add up, and you done went to Walmart and Roses and Target and all these places and bought big screen TVs and all these things with the stimulus check, which is supposed to be designed to help you, what are you going to do? I think that, Pastor, before we get into it, if we really look at this, and I'm going to say this again throughout the broadcast, if you really look at this, Pastor, this supposed to be, this money that's coming in should set us financially debt free or going to the point of financially freedom. And we see our people, our culture, many of them, and I'm not saying it's everybody, but many of them are blowing the money. They extra money, they can do extra stuff that they normally do. If they party, or if they buy, alcohol, or if they buy, weed or whatever, drugs, then they're gonna buy more. They're wasting the money, or they buying, excess stuff they really don't need. So we'll hit on that. But before we go into it, Pastor, go ahead and give us a word of prayer, brother.
Thank you, Lord. We bless you tonight, Lord. We give you the glory. We give you the honor, Father God. Lord God, we thank you for everything that you're doing, Father God. We bless you tonight, Father God. We uplift your name, Father God, tonight, Lord God. And Father God, we ask for forgiveness of anything we've done or said or thought that was not pleasing to you. Now, Father God, we ask, Lord God, that you come and rest and abide on the show with us. Lord God, bless every listener, Lord God. Continue to raise this show up, Lord God.
Yes.
We bind the hand of the enemy coming against this show, Lord God. We bind the hand of the enemy coming against our family, Lord God.
Yes.
Father God, let us decrease now so thine may be increased, Lord God.
Yes.
Let everything we do, Lord God, bring you glory, Lord God. Father God, let your spirit be in the land, Lord God. Use us mightily tonight, Father God, to do what says the Lord, Lord
Yes.
God. And we thank you and we bless you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. What are we doing with our stimulus check? we see that a lot of people are getting back good money that they wouldn't, especially for unemployment. Unemployment paying people $600, $700, $800 more than what they were getting at the job. The question I would like to ask brothers and sisters are we saving? Are we paying off the things that we need to pay off, and are we saving? That's a big question for tonight. Because a lot of times, especially us, our people, we get extra money, boy. We go crazy. We go buy stuff that we know we could do without. We go buy a car, don't have a job, or buy a certain type of car and we can't afford it. We spend money. And here's the sad thing about it, Pastor. America knows that, especially people of color, our culture, that we're going to spend money. We got to look good, ride good, smell good. And ain't nothing wrong with that. It's just that during this time, are we really putting into place strategy in case of another event? I think this is a wake-up call for me as a business owner that, okay, now I need to put in place a safety net, because, I got to do a little bit different. And this pandemic and being that my business been shut down since March the 25th, now it done put me in the place that I got to strategize different than what I've been doing, because I was really caught. I was really caught as a business owner, as I was saying, as the word say, I was caught with my pants down. But I was caught in a position that all the little resources that I did have, they really dwindled down in the first few weeks, the first 10 days or so. So you're looking at, man, when you're a new business owner, it takes you 3 years to be able to say, okay, you can sustain. It takes 5 years for you even to start to see profit. But then I had to wake up and say, you know what? I'm not going to be caught like this again. So now I got to strategize and do something different that I didn't do. And in coming with that, sometimes we got to be uncomfortable. Sometimes we get too comfortable and we get used to the norm. I done got uncomfortable. So now I realize I got to do something different. I got to come up with a different game plan. I got to have a different game plan. And my game plan going forward is to do something that I haven't been doing in the last few years. And not only that, but saving up emergency money. And that's something that maybe that should have been the topic, but we need emergency money. This pandemic, man, it put us to if you had a little bit of savings, it dwindled down quickly because you were trying to pay those bills that was coming in when your money stopped. But now that the stimulus checks are rolling, and I think there's supposed to be another one coming this month, I think. What are we going to do with it? Are we going to blow it on games and buying, your kids stuff that they really not going to, they really need, or you going to save it, pay some bills, and put a savings up? We don't know how long that this is really going to really affect us, because I know the governor is going to open up May 8th. A little bit, and I was reading a little bit of that outline. I should have brought it tonight to read to the viewers, but they're gonna open up. But it's still gonna be, when you open up and want to hang out with friends, it's only gonna be the amount of 10 people. They still, if you're gonna open up church, it only can be outside church. But the barbershops, hair salons, and tattoo parlors and massage therapies, they still close until further notice. So they got a list and that you can look at of what's going to be opening and how to do it. So this has really affected us as the point that, and I'm glad, going back, I'm talking about spending. I'm glad that I wasn't one that spend and just blow money. I thank God that I am a saver. I like to save, put a nickel or penny away. But there are some people that they don't do that. And so now when June and July come and all of your light bill is due, what is going to happen then? Because I think in Rocky Mount, Pastor, they said that it was about 90% of people living there didn't pay their light bill, and they getting the money. So you're thinking about 90% not paying their light bill for the city of Rocky Mount. So this is what we're seeing going on. What's going to happen in 5 months from now? But I'm gonna let you get in on it, Pastor. Because I got some scriptures I want to go back to after you finish, sir.
Well, my thought on this whole thing is that this has made people wake up, in a sense. Mm-hmm. We're learning a lot of lessons about this.
Right.
Particularly about what you talk about, Pastor, people not paying their bills.
Right.
You understand, yeah. The president said certain things can't be cut off, people can't get evicted. But you better believe, when this thing is over, these people are coming with extreme prejudice.
Right.
Okay? So you don't want to get in the fall and this thing drags out. Okay? Can't tell nobody what to do with their money or whatever, but I'm still paying all my bills like ain't nothing happening.
Right.
Like there's nothing happening. I'm still making sure my household is secure. If I'm going to spend my money, it's going to be in my household. If my money is not leaving my household, I'm not running to the mall. I'm not trying to. They said that the delivery services and online ordering is off the chain right now, Pastor. They said they're almost going to put the malls out of business right now because everybody ordering online.
Right.
People just ordering. They got a little extra money. Everybody want to order something. Mm-hmm. I just think that's going to bite a lot of people on the tail end of this.
Right.
On the tail end of this. Because what happens is you get these people who getting more unemployment than people who working.
Right.
Some people making $1,000, $1,200 to $1,000 a week.
Right.
Way more than they was making when they was working.
Right.
So now you got all this extra income. So like you said, Pastor, now what's coming out in you?
Right.
I think it made people really wake up. Mm-hmm. It made people really wake up. Because some stuff is not fair about that.
Right.
Some states are paying $150 an hour to some nurses. That's really in jeopardy. But some frontline workers are not getting extra.
Right.
A lot of these nurses are still getting the same pay and they still on the front lines.
Right.
I work at a hospital, so I see all this. I see all the stuff coming from the CDC. We get briefed on it every morning on the COVID. What we got to do, any new strategies that we have to deploy.
Right.
So I see all this. We have had some positive at our hospital. You know what I'm saying? Which we have handled excellently because, like I said, we follow the CDC program. But me tell you something that I'm seeing now. Now that it's kind of loosening up, I went out today. I seen at least 80% of people didn't have a mask on no more. Because at one point, I went out, I seen almost everybody had a mask on. Now, people are not even got masks on now, and it's not even Friday, and you're still supposed to wear a mask. I think people want to really get out and do stuff. And Mother's Day, I'm anxious to see how this goes for the Mother's Day. How many people going to be out? We got people who just basically just disobeying the law in some states. You seen them protesting, Pastor. You seen them protesting with guns.
Right.
Then we saying this thing is fake. This is not real. How about you go tell all those people who died that?
Right.
Family members died or on their deathbed. We have people give testimonies about how serious this thing is.
Right.
I seen that up close and personal, Pastor. But this is what happened when you get division in the land too, Pastor. Two sides rather, are interpreting this two different ways. And it all comes back, Pastor, to the government. It all comes back to the government, Pastor. If when they can't agree, it's going to be two sides to everything. It's going to be Republican and Democrat. Democrats saying one thing, Republicans saying another thing. How about if we all went by what God said? We are neither Jews or Gentiles. What if we had that? Where there ain't no parties. I guarantee there'll be a lot more agreement during this time.
Right.
But now you got people, Pastor, who just walking around with no mask on, carrying guns, Pastor, just causing all this craziness, Pastor.
Right.
Because there's all kinds of opinions on if it's man-made or it came out of China or they're trying to do this, they're trying to do that. When realistically, Pastor, when it comes down to it, I just stick to the scriptures. I just stick to the scriptures. And I've said this, and I'm going to keep on preaching this. It's a time to live.
Right.
It's a time to die. What does that mean? That means it don't matter if it's COVID, flu, you get hit by a car, you catch a bullet. God is in control when you die.
Right.
Yes, I'm going to wear my mask. Yes, I'm going to wash my hands. Yes, I'm going to do all the things I need to prepare, Pastor. But when it really comes down to it, God is determining when I die. So it don't matter what comes. Earthquake, hurricanes, snowstorms. God is the one in control.
Right.
But we as a country, one thing I'm going to give it back to you, Pastor. One thing that I am seeing is I've never seen so many people videotaping people in the streets praying. People just holding hands. People in cars beeping their hand, worshiping God. Now that's the one positive thing that has come about of this, is that real Christians and real people who believe God have come out in the open and start praising God. They'll start giving God the glory. But we need to be careful. We need to stick close to the cross in this time. Amen?
Amen, Pastor. Amen, Pastor. I think somebody said that we're still echoing a little bit, and that's my fault. I'm supposed to mute my line. So what I'm going to do is when Pastor talking, I'm going to mute the line. But Pastor Carl is right. When it's our time to go, it's our time. Everybody has an expiration date. Now, God says that he has, I know the thoughts I have of you, thoughts of peace, that he has an expected end for us. But sometimes you can rush to the end. You know, you get drunk, you go out here and fly down the road and kill yourself. That's not an expected end. That was an end that you created for yourself. You go out here and you get on drugs and you jump off a bridge. That ain't God. So you can't put God in that. But all of us that's walking in here, we're gonna trust and believe God through this pandemic. But we ought to be wise people. We ought to be a people that says, you know what? I got a little bit more than I was getting every week. I'm going to put some up. I'm going to put some up for a rainy day. You know, and you're looking at husband and wives, I think getting $1,200 apiece. You know, and they trying to pass it now so people that are living now through this pandemic, they trying now to pass where we can get $2,000 a month because they really don't know. Like I said, they're opening up, but they're not opening up to a fashion that we can really go back and really afford to go back to paying like we've been paying, especially business owners. So this is what the things that we are seeing today. But people can rush themselves. Like Pastor said, you got people marching around acting crazy. Listen, it's one thing that we do believe in, follow and trust God in everything. But also he gives us wisdom. He also gives us the right to make the right choices. He gives us the mindset to say, you know what, I'm going to still wear my mask. I was telling somebody today when I was out at, I think, Walmart or Dollar Tree, I said, Pastor, I told him, I said, when they open back up barbershops and salons, I'm still going to wear my gloves. I'm still going to wear my mask. I'm going to wear my mask until it's about 100 degrees for 3 or 4 days straight, for a whole week. We looking at now the weather. This disease is fueled by the climate. It's cold. It's not going nowhere because it's been said that heat will help diminish this virus. But it ain't been cold. I mean, I looked outside today, man. It's chilly out there. It's a little nippy. But anyway, I'm still going to wear my mask. I'm still going to wear my gloves. Matter of fact, I might just start wearing my gloves, make it a everyday thing, especially in the barbershop. Because we still have to be careful of different clients coming in. Different types of hair, different types of situations, So yes, we wash our hands, but I think now, even with the gloves, wear the gloves and wash your hands. That's an extra form of you providing help, care for the client. But at the same time, we are seeing that again, people are not making the right choices. People still partying. I mean, I'm talking about, they ain't talking about no little bit. They partying hard, Pastor. I mean, look at Atlanta. They opened Atlanta up and look at there are 1,000 new cases. Open it up. People still open up the beaches. I mean, if you open up the beaches, people gonna go to the beach, don't you? I mean, why open the beach up in North Carolina if you don't want people to be around each other? So that was a stupid move. That was a stupid move to open the beaches back up. I mean, that's me. But again, we got to have, we see that this is happening, but I want our people to wake up with a strategy and plan. Because see, going back to my next conversation is the fact that big business is booming right now. Walmart's, your big Walmart stores, Costco's, Walmart, Sam's, all of these places, they're booming, Pastor. I was looking at this survey on the New York Times. All right, a survey of 1,500 small businesses. They performed a survey of 1,500 small businesses. 50% of those small businesses said they will not be able to continue operating for operations more than 3 months in this current climate, in this current climate of situation. Meaning that because of the social distance, they're not getting the flow of traffic. So the small businesses are really, really hurting. While Walmart is booming right now. And I looked Walmart up. Walmart was up 77% in sales. 77%. And yes, we need to buy food. Yes, we do. But people ain't buying just food. If people were just buying food, it will be a little spike. But people buying everything else. You go to Walmart, I see people pushing out those big screen TV. I see them buying the games. And I'm not saying that's wrong, but I'm saying this pandemic should have waken us up to say, you know what, let's.
People also hoarding.
People hoarding. That's a good one. That's another thing. Yeah, right. Still hoarding. Still being selfish. Still not wanting to help your neighbor. Still have no compassion. And I'm just thinking about all of this stuff. Look, another big business. Big business is up. Like I said, Walmart, the gourmet groceries up 77% from March 30th to April the 5th. And then you look at the alcohol sales across North Carolina in the month of March, up 21%. And this going into this month, the ABC stores in North Carolina sold 38% more alcohol than they did all of last year in the same month. 38%. Now, I was talking in a conversation with some people, I ain't gonna name them. We were talking about, the ABC stores not being, what they call those those businesses that are deemed essential, right? They said that the ABC store had to be open because people would become sick. And I understand that. We know that there's some sickness that happen. But what about the people that are not at that point that they wake up in the morning drinking, that they breakfast is drinking, their lunch is drinking, and their dinner is drinking? You know, but still with the point of the ABC stores open, Pastor. Listen, I just don't get it. And people still spending all of that money, but they're not working. They giving it to the ABC store, but watch this. When the next situation comes, and it's coming, because I said it last year, this is just like an appetizer, just a small event, even though it's big. But what's coming down the road, this is supposed to prepare us so we'll be ready to face what's happening, what's getting ready to happen. But we ain't nowhere near still ready because we still selfish. We still hoarding up stuff when we can just get a little bit, enough to take care of us and our family, but we get much more than that. And we are selfish. We still ain't changed through this pandemic. It seemed like that it used to be when storms happened. 9/11 happened, we saw people coming together. When terrorists attack, we see people coming together. When tornadoes and hurricanes come, we see families and neighbors coming together. We see a pandemic like we've never seen before in our life. And yet we still have racist issues, yet still even through a crisis. When we should be loving each other as brothers and sisters, regardless of what color you are, we are seeing more hatred, more selfishness, more evil than it was like the normal. And so God is sending us something to show us like this thing is happening. You know, God told the children of Israel, when you continue to go away from me, when you continue to worship the golden calf, the golden image, the false prophets, and the idols, when you go away from me, I'm going to punish you. I'm going to make your enemies over you. And yet they didn't listen, so their enemies became over them. But we ain't learned that this pandemic, you in debt, you in financial crisis, you get more money on unemployment that you ever seen before. You should be saying, you know what, I'm going to get out of debt, because when this thing over, I'm going to have almost a nearly zero balance in my stuff. Right now, people have been struggling from check to check. We've been struggling. Business owners been checked week to week. Strategy now, going forward. This is what we should be looking at. I want to turn it back to you in a minute, Pastor, but I want to give some shout outs because I didn't go to the shout out. Mother Rainfoot, I want to say good evening to you. Minister Miles, good evening to you. Sister Betty, God bless you for tuning in. Sister Edna is in here tonight. God bless you. Thank you for tuning in. Evangelist Reed is tuned in. Sister Tabitha is tuned in tonight. Sister Cynthia, amen. First Lady, thank you for tuning in tonight. So many people in here tonight. Thank God for all of you that are tuned in. We talked about the bills. Minister Miles said that she said, I paid mine. Not going to get caught off guard. Gotta be proactive. We gotta be proactive. This allowed us, instead of us blowing the money and shopping, let's pay these bills up that we were scuffling with since the last year of 2019. Let's get this extra money, pay these bills up. Then we can start managing the bills better and also saving. We make money that we can save, but we play catch up so much that we ain't able to save the money like we want to. So that's the thing that we see. That's the thing that we should be doing is saving up, having strategy. Mother Rainford said, but if you have money, why let your bills get behind? And that's a true statement. But a lot of our people not doing that. Many of our people are. This is a wake-up call. Many, like Pastor said earlier, Pastor Carl said it right. Many of us are doing what we need to do that's right. But there's so many of people You know, they won't get just what they need. They got to get more. They got to get the last one off the shelf, even though they got a basket full. They want to go and protest, not just go there and abide by the rule, but they want to go there and say, hey, we don't care. We want to open back up. And they go with weapons. I mean, that's craziness. So this is what we're seeing here in America. America will have a change in it with the communities in America. Matter of fact, Pastor, and I'm going to get to you because this might be something that we can, I mean, you might know it and I haven't seen it. Not saying that they ain't done it. Where are the mega churches at today? Where are the mega churches at being the voice of the community at? I mean, have you seen it? I haven't seen it. If it's out there, then somebody share it to my inbox and I can speak on it. But I haven't seen the mega preachers talk too much on what really need to be.
They've been streaming.
Oh, they've been streaming, but have they been really being proactive in the community on trying to get us to be aware of, you know, this is an opportunity for us to get out of financial debt, to do something positive, to come up with different strategy. You know, we've been giving big business money all our lives. Now we're going to have to go back to the small business owners, and we really need to support small businesses again. That's how the community strive. That's how your neighborhood strive, when you're helping the big businesses and the people that you knew grew up in your area, or those that are in your area, those that are helping out, doing functions for the kids, giving back to the community, sowing into people's lives. But you know, we got the foreigners coming. And they not sowing into your lives. They not giving your kids $1. They not buying your kids hot dogs and hamburgers. They not giving them clothes. They not giving them food. They just here taking their money. So this is a wake up call for all of us. Also to say, you know what, not being prejudiced, but you got to help people in your own community. You look, I hear people say, I can't wait till the Chinese nail shops open back up. But then you continue to give them money. That's fine. You spend your money how you want to, but you got your own people with their own businesses, and they having a hard time trying to make ends meet. But because you're giving it away. But the same people in your community, the same hair salons, the same nail techs, they buying your fish plates. They buying your raffle tickets. They giving back in the community. They give free haircuts and free hairdos back to school. What are those foreign Chinese nail salons giving you back to school? How many back to school book bags have they gave out? How many pencils and papers have they handed out? That's the thing that we should start looking at now that we got all this time at home, is that when you go in there to the beauty mart, you go in there and ask them if can they do something for back to school. They're going to look at you now. They don't understand the words you're saying. But this should be a wake-up call for us. It should be a wake-up call. At home, you'd be able to think. Go ahead, Pastor.
I think as far as the perspective about small businesses, I think it's where you live sometimes. Because Atlanta is booming for that. I got several of my friends that live in Atlanta, and they got several successful businesses. I got a couple of my friends in Colorado. So I think too, it's the location where you at. Now pertaining to the mega ministries, I think everybody got their own call. I can't really say what they doing, what they not doing, but I have seen some of them streaming. I have seen Kirk Franklin. I don't know if everybody's seen that video where he had a bunch of singers and they all sung this particular song. I thought that was nice. I thought that was really nice. So I can't really say what they're doing, but we do have a problem within the black community when it comes to support.
Right.
And a lot of it is, Pastor, we're not educated in that area.
Right.
We're not educated. A lot of us never been taught about money. We've never been taught about money. What we been taught? We've been taught to spend money. We've been taught to spend money, Pastor. We haven't been taught how to save. We haven't been taught about the stock market. We haven't been taught about investing. So when we get money, our mindset sometimes is just to spend money. not us, because I know some people who do the right thing. But I'm saying a lot of it has to do with Pastor, of us not knowing about money.
Right.
Of us not knowing about money. The one thing that I really see about this COVID that me personally was bothering me is just the division.
Right.
Even when we get a pandemic that's killing people, we still can't come in agreement. How can two walk together, Pastor?
Turn your mic, turn your side of your phone up a little bit more. They said they don't hear you echoing, but they need the volume up just a little bit, or your mouthpiece up a little bit further.
Okay, I turned it up. So, like I said, the one thing that really bothered me about this pandemic is that we really can't come in agreement as a nation, as countries. Now, we did have some countries send us stuff, but it's like we always got division. I'm telling you, I'm getting so tired of politics, Pastor. I really am. People base stuff on what they did based on what political group. And I hear it at work. Oh, the Democrats is doing this. Oh, the Republicans. How about y'all both doing it?
Right.
No, everybody want to blame the other party, even during a pandemic. We can't come in agreement even during a pandemic. We still fight each other. So guess what? If the people see the leaders doing it, then guess what? The followers going to do the same thing.
Right.
Everything is on Democrat or Republican.
Right.
Okay. How about who's for God? Who's for the scriptures? Okay. What do the scriptures say? Love thy neighbor. Love thy neighbor. If you have an alt with each other, go talk it out.
Right.
We don't do that. We worry about what Republican or what Democratic party we're with. And that's on both sides.
Man, you talking good.
Not just one side. Not just one side. It's just the Republicans control a lot now because the president is Republican. But still, we shouldn't have this much, we shouldn't have this much anger to each other. When we blame each other for deaths. Oh, they didn't do this. This is why they died. Oh, they didn't do that. This is why they died. How about this is a pandemic? Okay? It's different if one of the parties actually put the virus in there. Okay? But even during the virus, Pastor, we still got to be the one that's right. Okay? So what happens is people see this division, so they choose sides. I got Christians, born-again Christians, so-called, who love God, but say Democrats destroying the country. I got Democrats saying the Republicans destroying the country. What is that? What is that? What is that? We got to understand that unless we come in agreement, we are going to fail. We're going to fail, Pastor. We're going to fail. This pandemic showed me more than anything how we are as a people. We got people going in there just hoarding.
Right.
People got their budgets filled up. Other people go in there, they don't got nothing, and you don't even care. You don't have enough empathy for people who don't have stuff, Clorox or Lysol. See, what does that tell you, Pastor? That tells you that we don't care. Our love ain't there for people. Our love is not there. Because why would we not care about people who need the same supplies that we need? Who they stockpile all their stuff. They care about their stuff. Oh, my home is taken care of. My home is taken care of. This is really showing me where we are as a nation. And we are here as a nation are not good. We're not good. We're not good. We're not good, Pastor. We're not good. Because we have become a very selfish people. A very selfish people, Pastor. We don't want agreement. Now I want people to understand this, Pastor, how me, you, and Pastor Tyrone can simply go get a biscuit or something and come into instant agreement.
Right.
Great. We can talk, Pastor, for less than 5 minutes, and us three be like, okay, let's do this next thing, and it's done. Just like that. Nobody trying to be the boss. Nobody trying to be in charge. We just come in agreement. You know why we come in agreement, Pastor? And people might not come in agreement with what I'm about to say. You know why we come in agreement? Because we all love God. And when you got the Spirit of Christ in you, and you really love and you really want to do what's right for God, God will he will put that stuff down.
Mm-hmm.
He will put that stuff down and he will suppress, I gotta be the boss. He'll suppress, I gotta be right. Pastor, when I go to my church, I still vacuum the floor, I clean the toilets, I do whatever I gotta do
Right.
to give God the glory. But see, this is what's happening, and I think this is why God has let this pandemic hit. Because I've seen more people praying in the streets than ever before. Now, before this pandemic, Pastor, and once again, I'm not trying to pump me and you up,
Right.
but Pastor, you know, we was praying for people right on the street. We was praying for people in the store. We was praying for people in Walmart before the pandemic. But now the pandemic comes, now we see all these people in the street, which is a great thing. Which is a great thing. But it shouldn't take a pandemic for us to get on one accord and cry out to God. And I've said this before, and you heard me say it. Wonder if 10,000 people in North Carolina all prayed for an hour. What if 10,000 people at one time cried out to God? When the Holy Spirit came during the day of Pentecost, it wasn't 10,000 people. Look what happened. A mighty move of God.
Yes.
But we don't want to put God first in this country no more. We want a form of Christ. We want a form of Christ. So now here comes a pandemic, and if you just sit back and you watch people and you listen to people, because of my job where I work at, all kinds of people come in, and all kinds of people got a different ideology or theory on what's going on. But guess what? Most of those theories and ideologies never, ever, ever pertain to God. Everybody got their own thing. Oh, well, such and such. Oh, black. Oh, white. Oh, Democrat. Oh, he this. Oh, he this. Oh, Mexicans. Oh, look at all y'all the same. This. Now, I don't know about nobody else's revelation. I'm giving y'all mine. I'm talking about what I've seen personally. It might not be your revelation, but this is what I'm seeing. And my revelation to this pandemic is, like Pastor said, we need to do better with money. Yes, we do. We need to do better with money. We need to pay our bills, so by June, July, August, sometime around there, when it really does lift, amen. Oh, you won't have $2,000, $3,000 worth of bills. Because you want to go out and order stuff. You want to order stuff offline. Okay, we got to be smart too. We can't be such in a rush to point the finger and say this and say that we become dull.
Right.
That we don't even really think about what we need to do for my family. Like I said, I don't know about nobody else. I'm speaking to Pastor Carl. My money ain't leaving my house. If I'm going to spend something on that, it's going to be something for my sons or my wife or that pertains to us. I'm using this money to keep supplies in my house, to keep gas in my car, to keep food on the table. So at least if I did run out of money, amen, at least it came to the house. It's in the house. I'd rather have it in the house than going out to I don't know if they're open or not, but people still playing the lottery, I'm pretty sure. Plus, I guarantee you if they're still playing the lottery sales is off the chain. Alcohol sales, you just heard Pastor talk about alcohol sales. That was it, 38% higher. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. So, but I'm trying to back over to you, Pastor.
Hey, you right, Pastor. And this is why my spirit it hurts sometimes, because we don't have the unity that we need. We don't have the unity that we need, and we don't have the education that we need to realize that how you build your community. You know, and we still fight with one another. We still can't come together to do nothing. But yeah, I am happy that now I see people out in the street that won't normally out in the street. You know, this ain't nothing new for us, you know, to be out there. You know, I was telling a sister pastor lady I know in the area how I remember people used to talk about her husband being out there in the street, calling him a street preacher. Well, what would Jesus be? Jesus would be a street preacher too. You know, so going, that goes to what, in line to what Sister Edna said on her comment. Church is becoming political. It becomes political. It becomes so political that you got to vote on everything that's God is saying He just wants you to do it. But you got to go through the political arena. And I get hurt because I'm glad that Free Salvation, we're not a people that worry about whether you a member or not, that if we know that there's a need, we'll come together and do what we can to help. Jokers now got to vote, and if you ain't on the list, I mean, come on. I mean, this is the thing that's crazy. I saw a multitude of people that was hungry physically, and Jesus told the disciples to have them to sit down. He didn't ask them what members they was at, what membership they belonged to, what church they belonged to. He knew that they were hungry. He was showing us the example. They come from all places, all throughout that area. I mean, a multitude is a number that nobody can, it's so many people can't even number. And he fed them, showing us what a street preacher, as y'all call it, should be. Working out in the community. But I'm glad that now we're seeing a whole bunch, because I seen more people out with doing intents and stuff out there. And I was like, good gracious, I've been riding this same area for years. I ain't never seen this, but I'm glad they're doing it now. Maybe that's something, maybe it took this, and that could have been Pastor God's design and plan to use a pandemic to close down the church so the church would get out of the building and get back in the street.
Amen.
Come on. Political. It's so political. I mean, I'm thankful that, if I can help somebody, I'll help them. We got a mother that was evicted because she couldn't pay her bill, or grandma, and we did the best. I had some loving people from the Bun area, along with what I was doing for her. They came and they blessed her. She's staying at a hotel. These are the things that, we ain't boasting and bragging, and I ain't naming names, and I ain't telling you everything, but I'm just saying, this is the mission work that we supposed to be doing. We supposed to be out here in the street. We supposed to be out here helping. We help. I'm not one of them preachers getting $1,000 a Sunday, $800 a Sunday, $700 a Sunday, $600 a Sunday. But you got, sometimes you got to get out your own pocket and go around to these projects up here in Franklin Court and see what you can do, for some of these kids and their families. Unless you got to go through the political process of the now church before you can go really help somebody. But I'm glad that God did what he did, because God can't nothing happen unless God allow it. And God allow, even if it's man-made, he allowed the enemy to create something for those that are rebellious, stiff-necked, hard-headed, those that would not turn away from their ways. He'll use them to get at us because we ain't doing right. At the same time, it'll be us that say, you know what, God, we're sorry. And the enemy, he going to destroy them anyway. He going to destroy them anyway. But I just want to come to a point, y'all, that if we have true unity, not worry about what kind of car pastor driving. I look at Pastor, he driving a Mercedes, and I want to be friends with him. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. He like to dress up nice. And I look at him like, he think he all that. That's crazy. Division. And not only that, but like I said, what we do, because we got a heart, we can all come together in a meeting and we can say, let's do this for the community. Because of our love, we don't have to worry about who gonna be in charge of it, who gonna, take the lead and all that stuff. We just do it. We plan it and we do it. Too many meetings, too many going to the meeting and not getting nothing done. If you can go to some of these old churches and look at some of their history, some of their minutes, they got stuff they've been wanting to do for 10 to 15 years and ain't done it yet because they can't come in an agreement. Political. Mother Rainford said she had a friend who was a pastor, and he was asking if they got their stimulus check, reminding them light bills needs to be paid, yet they're tithing and giving offerings. Which you pay your bills. You got to pay your bills. Everybody got a break. But this is the time that, you got to use sound judgment, and God knows if you got some extra. But he giving you an opportunity to take care of what you need to take care of. Division and confusion in this administration. It is. We know that. We see, that's the thing. Me and Pastor Carl both, and I'm going to raise my hand. Y'all know I talk about the president time to time. You know I talk about the local government, how they are. We know we're in a crooked system. We know. But I'm telling y'all people, it's time for us to strategize with us. I promise you, I'm sick. I don't know what's going to wake us up. It just hurts me because people can't see what I'm saying. You know, I was running for a political office, but I was running as a servant of the Most High God that wanted to do right and see a vision that needed to be done. But yet we're going to see the same things happening. I know we're going to see the same things happening because nobody cares to reach out to the churches anymore like they should.
But watch this real quick, Pastor. It's going to be hard for a true man or woman of God to get in Babylonian system.
You're right. You're right on it. Because see, that goes back to what Deacon Keith told me. He said that people were saying that I was too voiceful. They thought I was too look, y'all. Many of y'all know me for a long time. They gonna said that they would have voted for me, but I remind them like I'm a militant. He too voiceful. So what? So like you said, they don't want that. They don't want us getting the churches back involved in the running things the way it's supposed to be running. You know, even back in those days, King David was a mighty man of God, but yet he had the wisdom from a spiritual advisor. They don't want that. They don't want it. They don't want it today. Like you said, Pastor, the Babylonian system, they don't want it. They don't want it. This pandemic is going to last into 2021. There's no vaccine for this virus. Now, I'm agree to disagree. There is a vaccine, but it's only for the rich. It's only for the ones in political high ranks office. Because I think some of y'all heard the CNN leak. The microphone was on, and you see the guy come in there with the mask on, and you hear them saying that there's no need for the mask. We've already been vaccinated. Just like they said there ain't no cure for AIDS. It's been a cure out. Magic Johnson is a witness of that. His money it was long. You know, Eazy-E died because his money wasn't long as Magic Johnson money. Magic Johnson was diagnosed with full-blown AIDS. And yet that rascal been living since what, the 90s or the late 80s and 90s?
They said they can't even detect it in the system.
Exactly. So let me tell y'all something. Don't y'all be fooled. These Bill Gates and these Fairchilds and you know, these prominent families, they got the wealth of the country. The country's in its debt. Don't you believe they ain't got nothing for them? Don't y'all believe that? They just ain't got it for us. That's the point. You know, ain't enough of your insurance money going to be able to pay for that amount of vaccine. You can work on a job and make 6 figures. But when that vaccine is over $1 million to make, it's way over $1 million to make. So it's probably going to be $1 million worth of treatment. Your insurance going to max out. Ain't going to be able to afford it. You understand? So yeah, they got a vaccine for it. They just ain't, they just lying. They lie about everything. Y'all know they got vaccines for everything. For every virus that's been out, they got a vaccine for it. Now, whether you got the money to get it, is one thing. Just like they got a cure for cancer. But we know the Jimmy V Foundation been running ever since he was diagnosed and died. But they got a cancer healing for it. But you think about the treatment's gonna be $1 million. They already know the basic American making 6 figures ain't gonna be able to afford it through his job's insurance. They got it. Only the wealthy of the wealthy be able to get it. But they got it. They got it. Sister Edna said, monthly is monthly. The bills don't stop, and they may not turn the lights off right now, but they're still counting kilowatts. You're right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they are.
And here's the thing. As long as you trying to do something, they gonna work with you. It's those folks that not never paying a dime, and they know that stimulus money came. They know people getting the unemployment check, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 a week, and they still saying, "Well, shoot, man, I got this extra money, man. I'm gonna get me some."
Pastor, I seen plenty of new tags on cars too.
Hey, you
Tags on cars.
You're right. That's what I'm saying. Now, what I'm saying is, I know that we're in a crisis. Even if I had the money to get a car, it's not the time, because I'm telling you, I don't know what's coming in the months ahead. It might be something better than this. We got to wait till the sign is right, and we just got to wait. Not saying not to deny yourself, but you got a transportation right now. I don't want to spend all my money and then something else come up, and then you're going to be back the same way. Now, here's the thing that we don't look at, Pastor. When this is all over, when the money is exhausted because everybody got all this money, and then when the next wave of disaster come, they know they ain't going to have no money because they already giving out the money, all this money now. They know that they can't handle two pandemics and you being at home. It's getting ready to get real. So you're looking at all of the military that's been put in place. They're going to stay in place. All like Mother Rainford said, throughout 2021, things may be still better. But I really feel in my spirit that something else is coming, y'all. And God is letting us know that we got to be wise in this season. Use sound judgment in this season. Women, don't go in there just because you got this money. You're a shopaholic, boy. You just, them tags is calling your name. This is a time where God's saying, look, you never had a savings before. You want to have $10,000 in a savings account? Then this is the time that you need to start planning for it. This is the time that you ought to start putting up for it, making provision for it. Why are you getting this? You're only getting $400 a week. Now you're getting $800 a week. Now you need to take that $400 and put up, and as long as you can put it up, as long as you can get it. And then when you go back to work, still don't touch it. That's the plan. And then work from that point, and then still add to your savings. That's what we're going to have to start doing, y'all. We've been giving y'all free tips on this radio broadcast for a long time. You know, people got their refund back. They ain't buying no land. They ain't not buying no repo land, no repossession land or nothing. You got women out here, you got 2 or 3 kids, you get back $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 or your refund check. First thing you do is you go out to eat, buying clothes, buying shoes, buying Jordans, buying TVs, buying video games, buying all this stuff, buying a new vehicle. When you could buy land that you can now have residual income coming in. This is a financial lesson. But this is the stuff that we see in ministries in a community should be a light. Amen. Mother Rainford, amen. Should be a light. Should be a light. You know, I got a blessing, man. People has blessed my Cash App, Pastor, last week about I was shared what all the barbers and the hair salons are sharing on their pages. And I had many people donating, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 20s, 50s. You know what I mean? That helped a long way towards paying my business that's been shut down. That the lights still going, the water the bill still due, the lease man still looking for his, and I'm not there. So I still got to pay, not there, but just at my home too. So that's 2 places. So thank God that He will provide because of God sees what you're doing. He see when you helping somebody else, it comes back to you. It comes right on back to you. It's a circle. Now I can help somebody else. And then somebody else can help somebody else. And the church is now outside of the walls. I've been saying this forever. People get mad at me. Why don't you come back and do outreach? I remember being at the old church when my old pastor was still living. She had me in charge of the outreach ministry, pastor of the outreach ministry. And we was out in the street. We was out singing and praying, handing out waters and doing the hot time of the it was hot back in those times. You know, you're looking at 98 degrees, 100 degrees. We out on the south side of town, out there set up. That's the work. Out at the park. We was out at the park in the outreach. This is the part of giving back, y'all. But we what we do? We still see that we have a long way to go still. This pandemic ought to shook a lot of us up. It ought to make some of us wake up and think, man, we got to do something different. We got to have a different plan. But I'm telling you, this is the stuff that we see that's going on. Minister Miles, going back to what I was saying about, you were talking about the Babylon system don't want men and women with lovers of God. They don't want lovers of God. They don't want followers of God. They don't want true believers. She said they want puppets. And that's what they're going to get come November in this area, puppets. Because y'all, many of y'all lived in Franklin County. I've lived here. I moved away and came back. Y'all see the same old stuff go on and go on. And I wonder, why do y'all continue to vote for the same old stuff? You know, these leaders, I don't care if they are leaders for local government, but they still taking money from the church, ain't they? They still getting a light bill paid from the church. The state come in and audit the church money. So the state is still connected to the church. If the state and the church supposed to be disconnected, supposed to not be connected, why the state coming in the church looking at his money? And then still you got to have the state say if it's the state and the church is not connected, then why the states come to tell you that you got to follow the business protocol or the business outline or the business blueprint? And you got to have your federal ID to open up a bank account. And then they're going to check your money. But anyway, they don't want the real men and women of God. Just reading some of these comments, Pastor. Sister Betty said if you got the money, you can get a cure. I know you. That's what I'm saying. You're right. You're right. It was shown that they had a vaccine 3 years ago. Let me tell y'all something. When they had a vaccine for the anthrax, for the Ebola, you don't even hear nothing about the Ebola. They listen. They know these things are going to happen before or around the time they come out. They're already working for it. They're already working on things. And here's the thing. They don't want to go up there and tell the people they got a vaccine and all these people could have got a vaccine and they don't let people die. They can't let this country be torn up by its own people because that's exactly what will happen. If they go out and say they've had a vaccine, it will be a bloodbath in America because people that have lost families and loved ones and wives and husbands and daughters and children, and sons, little bitty kids done died. And they had a vaccine all along. That's why they got to keep saying they ain't got one. But then it came out on the leak that they had a vaccine, that they were vaccinated. This is what we're doing. Pastor Clinton said a $1,200 for citizens is a cover. The LA Lakers got $4.6 million. Report says they paid it back and said it should go to the people who need it. Ruth Chris got $20 million. You see, here's the thing. How many trillions of dollars did they pass? Only a smidget went to the people. 80-something% of that stimulus money, that package, went to big businesses, banks and companies, big companies. This is where that stuff went. So again, I can't do nothing about it, but I want to encourage us that now we need to build a city, build a nation inside of a nation. We won't wake up to do it. Because listen, I don't understand even our black people, our own families. We don't want to wake up. We don't trust each other. We trust each other, act like we trust each other at the dinner table, at the family reunion. But everybody that's on this live got a family reunion that they went to. Got aunts and uncles and first cousins and seconds and third cousins and they know all their life. How many of y'all came together and said, let us buy property? See, that's what we should be doing, Pastor. The Hispanics are doing what we should be doing. They buying land together. They buying houses together. And they not worried about, hey, well, I work for my money, man. Y'all better get y'all. the Hispanic will live together in one house, pay it off, and build another house for the next person. They gonna work together, all of them put their money in that next house, and they pay that one off. They put it in another one. They do their vehicles the same way. You think that my families that I know would do that? I say I want to buy a car, all y'all help pay for it. No, and then when you want a car, all us help pay for it. You know how much that man? Do you know how much that will bring to us as a people if we could do that within our own family? You know, we can come to the family table and say, look, I want to buy a car. If y'all all help pay the payment, then we could pay the car off, and then whoever next up want to get a car, we pay their car up. Can you imagine how long that would take if we was able to do that, Pastor? Not long at all. So the church is having problems getting along, but we have problems in our own families getting along. We want to start businesses in our families, but our families don't even support. They won't even put a nickel into investing in you. So that says a lot to where we are. We all say we're Christians. We all say we're believers. We got ancestors, grandparents, mama, daddy, and been in church all their life. But you tell them you got a business plan and you need them to invest, they're going to say, well, no, I can't do it. But yet they put money into other places that people are making a benefit. They're getting, abundance. I just wish we could wake up. I just wish we could wake up, man. I just don't know what else to say, Pastor. I mean, this is such a shame, but I want to read these scriptures and I'm going to let you get back in for a minute or two. But I had this scripture at the beginning. We were talking about, the stimulus money, people not paying their bills. And we heard it, a fool in his money will surely depart. The Bible here says in Proverbs 21 and verse 20, it says, the wise have wealth and luxury, but fools spend whatever they get. And that's a true statement. Fools gonna spend whatever they get. They're not worried about a rainy day. Grandma and them put money up in old stocking, old we call it a snuff can. I'm old enough to know what a snuff can is, Pastor. I'm old enough to know Grandma used to have a snuff can, and Grandma used to take that snuff can and put money rolled up in that in old stocking. And put it in that snuff can and hide it up somewhere. That's old school. So I learned from them. Now we should be teaching our people, man, that we got to save, but we got to invest in each other. I wish families would learn to do it, but we don't trust each other in our own family, Pastor. Our own family. That's something. That's something, Pastor. Go ahead.
So, I think we could go, so many ways with this. But once again, it just comes down to personal choices. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Can't use an excuse all the time. Sometimes I really just try to lean on the Spirit of God to lead me. And, we all fail. We all fall short of the glory of God.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to get back up and keep watching, and keep learning, and keep hearing, and keep seeing. You know what I'm saying? I can't be the same at my age now as I was at 21, 37. I got to be better.
Right.
I have to be better. And I don't know if you say this, maybe not, but we got to evolve. You know what I'm saying? We can't be the same as, the cycle got to be broke. My sons got to be better than me and my wife. Their sons and daughters got to be better than them.
Mm-hmm.
We just can't keep starting from scratch all the time. So it's a great topic, Pastor. I appreciate y'all sticking with this show. We had a lot of adversity here lately.
Mm-hmm.
The show was rolling 800, 900,000 views. Then, of course, the enemy got busy. He'll do it in certain ways. You know what I'm saying? We had some complications. But everybody keep supporting the show. The vision ain't changed. It may tarry, but it ain't changed.
Amen.
Your vision in your life has not changed. Amen. And people who keep supporting each other like this, and we support y'all, we're going to be all right. We do what we're supposed to do, and God will bless us. God will bless us. So once again, I thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Amen.
Amen, Pastor. You said it right, man. You know, I care about you. I care about people on this live, and you know, I asked a while back to create a book. I'm trying to create a book for black businesses. I had 2 people to inbox me, and this is the point where we are now. Minister Mile, I think she's starting a garden again. Now, when she get the garden going and the fruit and the vegetables start to grow, you know, I want to reach out and patronize them. You know, I want to patronize them because listen, everybody not farming. But we are seeing now that we're going to have to go back to the old way. And because I told my son the other day before he went back up to Raleigh to work, I said, you know, y'all don't know how to plant gardens like we did. And you don't have time because you already know it. As soon as we try to tell you how to do something, you know it already. I said, your generation going to need to learn it because you never know what you got to go back to. You know, they don't know how to plant tomatoes, don't know how to plant corn or potatoes and stuff like that. You know, how they gonna survive if the food at the grocery store, passing that, like I said, we could have went so many ways. Most foods, I done stopped going to patronize them. One, because I got a sister that's on my Facebook page she's a caterer. We've been going to Moss Food, Pastor, ever since Moss Food we've been knowing Moss Food. And I don't know how many decades. That's over 2 decades. Way over 2 decades. We've been going patronizing this meat market. When you got a pound and pound 1.55 or 56, and it's over $8, and it's not even in the ground chunk, it's the ground round with all of the filler, and they selling for way over $8. Come on now. It's price gouging. Eggs, $4. I went to Dollar General in Lewisburg here 2 weeks ago, and I said, well, you know, I normally get some eggs from there sometime. It was $1.50 normally. Man, I went in there, them eggs was $3.70-something. People are taking advantage of this. People are taking advantage because they know people getting stimulus, they know people getting the unemployment, and they know they're taking advantage of it. Ain't no way in the world that we've been going to this meat market. And it's 90% us going to this meat market, making the man rich because he had the best meats in town, because he cut stuff fresh. But when you done price gouge Lysol $9, a can of Lysol $9, I was done. And I started going to Carly C's. Carly C's got the same meat prices, the chicken prices and everything that Moss used to have. Moss done went up so much, man, and I told them before the pandemic, I said they've been going up. Y'all can look back at some of the conversations I had way before the pandemic last year. I said Moss done went up, and they going up. And so now they going up in the pandemic. How do we raise prices in the pandemic? I mean, I know you know things go up, but a little bit, but tremendously. Some of these restaurants done went up outrageous. I don't go there. When I look at that, they don't say $10 for a combo, and I know the combo used to be $8. No, I ain't going. Because one, you ain't got your full staff. Because you can't eat inside, so it ain't like you got to pay that extra. And you say some people are taking advantage. It's like me, Pastor. Oh, now that we're in a pandemic, now you go in there and you normally get a $15 cut. Now I'm going to charge you $30 for the same $15 cut before. I mean, come on now. God going to provide. He going to do an increase. I ain't got to go up there and railroad folk. But this is what we do. The Bible says, 1 Timothy 6:10, for the love of money is the root of all evil. The love of it. But then you go over in Ecclesiastes, the 10 and 19 says that money is the answer to all things. Money is the answer to all things, but the love of it is the root of evil. And these people seeing this increase in their sales, their numbers are going up, man. The dollars in their bank account is increasing. That looks good. And them jokers say, you know what? We got to keep it like this. When people should be giving deals in your community, not feeding off of the poor. And I'm gonna tell you another thing before we go out of here. My cousin was sent a thing, and I know Apostle Tina shared the same thing, Pastor, that some hospitals are diagnosing people with this coronavirus that ain't even got the coronavirus because they get more money when they got coronaviruses. They're devil. Ain't even gonna go into it no more, but I'm just saying this is this wickedness that we see continuously. When we supposed to be kind of balancing out a little bit. But anyway, Pastor, just a topic that we could have went so many different ways with tonight. But we thank all of y'all for staying with us for all of this long time. We want you guys to continue to support, man. We, like Pastor said, we had over 1,000 viewers, 900, average high 600, average high 400 viewers. And because of the situations that we had to change and we had issues with this and that and the enemy, the numbers have dropped tremendously. And so we praying to God that he will bring the numbers back up, because one day you guys going to see us side by side in the studio. Y'all going to see it still happen because we ain't wavered. We still on course. And so again, if you want to contribute, if you want to be a part of this show, because we want to have media. We want to have people on the ground when things go open back up, the schools open back up. Man, we want somebody to go out there and broadcast those high school football games, those high school basketball games, and you broadcasting right on the TMA radio broadcast. We want to do that. So we want to have that studio where you can come on down and be in the studio and interview, and we can have, just a good old time. This is the future, and we want to build on it when we be driving around in the TMA radio van. Amen. I'm gonna believe God. Somebody gonna invite and donate a van, and we're gonna be able to paint that booger up and have the logo on there. TMA Radio Broadcast, the Men to Men Talk Back Show on the back bumper. Amen. We rolling around doing functions. Hey, I see it. I see it happening. But anyway, Pastor, anything else you want to say to the people?
Amen. I really had to push through tonight. Had a lot of adversity. But hey, like Pastor said, we're not giving up. This is a vision. It may tarry, but it's going to come to pass.
Amen.
And I appreciate y'all once again for tuning in, for sticking with us. We ain't going to forget y'all. Amen.
Amen, Pastor. We thank God for each and every one of you. I can't see the names tonight, Pastor. I know we got one that you chose last Wednesday before last. We got to get that out soon. That was Minister Miles. She was the winner 2 weeks ago. We didn't do it last Wednesday because Pastor Carl had death. I had death in the family. So we got a lot. We had a lot going on. Still got a lot this week and this week coming up. More stuff we got coming up, but we know God is able. If you looking at the names, anybody, Pastor, that rings out to your spirit, we can choose one next week because I can't get back in it.
I can't see them either. I gotta switch to my.
Okay, yeah. So what we'll do is so I done closed out. I'll make sure. So we'll pick a winner next Wednesday. So y'all tune in. You could be the Wednesday night winner. We're gonna get the gift out, special gift out for the 2 week go winner, Minister Mile. But until next time, we want to say God bless each and every one of you. We thank you for tuning in. We get ready to hit up the music, and we're gonna be out of here. All right.
Clap our hands and send up Judah. Yes, God, we've come to clap our hands and give him praise. Everybody in the house say, we've come to clap our hands. Give him glory. Glory. We've come to clap our hands. Hey, give him glory. Glory. We've come to clap our hands. To do our dance and magnify him. Hey, we've come to do our